One of the first things we had to do was come up with 50 characters. I was going, what? 50 characters? I'm busy. I could come up with 2 or 3. I had no idea what character I was playing. And I found myself kind of resisting doing it. But then I thought, no. I said I would, you know, this is what I was interested in, finding out the process, so I better do it. And I didn't have long to do it, so I was just coming up with stuff. So I had people that were older than me, younger, people from my past and present, just anyone almost that popped into your head, really. Just some characteristic about them that you found interesting or intriguing, and it could be even the way they walked, their laugh or something like that. I think I came up with 35. The next morning, Andrew rang up and sort of said, oh look, we want your character. We can tell you he owns a trucking firm, and we want your character to be mostly this person you talked about and a bit of that person. I went, right, okay. So, and that was, I still didn't really know much. Grew up on a farm, so driving tractors and kind of bigger machinery and stuff wasn't completely foreign to me. I actually quite like driving big machinery. Rough Terrain, the company that let us use their trucks, I mean, they're amazing. I spent a day out with one of the younger drivers, and he drove this big truck, a 26-ton digger on the back. But there was nowhere to turn around this huge, big articulated truck. So he had to back out for about a kilometre and a half on this windy road. I think once he had to stop and have another go at it. And at one stage he actually even got into a higher gear. This particular truck can actually get up to about 30 k's in reverse. And he had a bit of a straight bit. He said, oh, we might hurry things up a bit. And a lot of skills. You come away from those days, you don't necessarily know what you've learned, but you do pick up little bits and pieces. Things like getting out of a truck, you're not supposed to go down frontways or jump because they have all these injuries. Little things you sort of pick up, and just how they are around each other. So that was sort of like the starting point. And then the next day, Shane and Andrew rang back and said, go and be your character for a morning. I said, what do you mean? We'll go and do the shopping. I was going, oh, for heaven's sakes, you know. My first thought was, well, I wouldn't do the shopping. My wife would do the shopping. I ended up getting a 12-pack of meat pies, and I had to stop because it was getting ridiculous. But I was in one of the aisles at one stage, and I could feel a fart coming on. Me as Matthew Chamberlain, I would hold on to it. But as my character, you know, based on the person that I know, I just eased it out. Wandered down the aisle going, just smirking to myself. And I thought, that's a really good character, Keith. I would never have discovered it without having done the shopping. Some of it was just Shane and I, you know, phone calls, ringing up, you know, different employees, my wife. I don't think she was in the original script, but suddenly my wife Denise appeared. She got involved. And then we did the improvs with the other characters, and I kept on asking questions. So blah 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 blah, and Andrew go, no, I can't tell you that. No, you don't need to know that now. And I found out how much I really like to know. You know, sort of the overall picture. I remember doing a job interview with was it Casey Kelly. Here's this yank going on and on about, you know, I've driven in Alaska and blah, 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 and I'm sitting there as my character going, Jesus, this guy talks a lot. Okay, I'll give him a couple of months trial. If he is just full of bullshit, well, I can get rid of him. You know, some of them worked, you felt like they rocked along, and others you're really struggling. You're kind of going, I wonder if there's anything in this. But that's the nature of it, you know. In the improvs, you don't know all the answers. You suddenly come up with the answers because you kind of got it. And suddenly you're going, oh, all right, that's what's happening now, you know, or even the other character will make decisions for you. It's like a fast way of doing it, of building up a relationship. I knew my bit, and dealing with Rangi Moana, I knew he was a central pivot of it. But I didn't really know much about Carmel and Geraldine. I had no idea. I don't think I did a single improv with her. So it was still a surprise. But I did have a quibble about some of the bits. My character, I was going, oh, I don't reckon my character would say that. And I was saying this to Andrea on the phone. She said, well, actually, Matt, you know, we took stuff from your improvs, and all that stuff you just mentioned, you said in your improvs. I said, no, I didn't. She's got it recorded. You can read the transcript. I said, damn. So, and she wasn't tied to the script. She said, look, if you really don't like it, we can work it out. And I ended up saying virtually all the script as it was written. I shot most of my stuff in 2 days. And I remember looking at the schedule thinking, geez, we've got a lot to shoot. And thinking, okay, we better be on to it because we'll probably only have a couple of takes or something like that, and then we'll have to move on.
90, take 2. Take 3.
But my experience was I felt like we had all the time, and some of the scenes you did get in a couple of takes, and others that needed a bit more work and a bit more just playing around. And I got to lunchtime and I kind of looked at the schedule and we were slightly ahead of schedule. And maybe that's part of it was not huge big lighting setups and all that sort of thing, but generally they seemed to just tick along, It was like, oh yeah, is that all right? Yeah, that's good. I said to Andrew, I think at the end of it, I said, well, we never felt rushed, but it felt like you were getting the performance you need. And she said, well, at the end of the day, Matthew, that's pretty much all we've got. I said, how do you mean? Well, we haven't got any car chases or, big fight scenes or etc. And I was going, no, you're right. This pretty much is the story and the performances.
Peaches in the summertime, apples in the fall. If I can't have the girl I want,
we get this sorted out, I'll need you to take a bit of sick leave.
I've never taken a sickie in my life.
Look, you haven't got any choice, PJ.